Welcome to In It to Win It. This is Steve Barton, and thank you for tuning in. We're here to talk about coal. On Monday Market Moves, we said, what commodity would you guys like to see in the charts and just kind of go over some fundamentals on? And you guys overwhelmingly said coal. So Nolan, I think you influenced the hive there, and I'm pretty excited about coal. I got to tell you, I studied it about 8 hours. I'm going to try to condense that in 20 minutes. At the end of that 8 hour session, I got off the phone for 20 minutes or so with Matt Warder. He's an expert on coal. He's coming on the show in 2 weeks. So any questions you have on coal, go ahead and put them in the comments below for Matt. Just start it out by writing Matt colon and then do your question. Okay. And any companies, remember, submit the full company name and the ticker. Okay. So he's coming on the show in a couple of weeks. All right, so coal basics, what I learned. Whatever we got, we got. It's not renewable. In other words, it's not like you're just running it by wind. Once you consume this, it's gone. And it's not like we can make any more because this is kind of like oil in that, it was dead plant life from 100 million years ago. You're not going to you're not going to make any more of that, right? So there's two types of basic coal. There's metallurgical coal and there's thermal coal. Metallurgical coal, short, is met coal or coking coal, and that's used to make steel. That's used in the manufacture of steel. Okay, the annual demand of that is about 300 to 330 million tons of met coal per year. Then the other part is thermal coal. Now that's used in generating electricity in the form of power plants and also producing heat, so for like furnaces and things like that, making heat. The annual demand is about 1 billion tons per year. All right, so met coal, there's like three basic types. There's hard, which has three different variations. There's semi-soft, and then there's PCI coal. And then thermal coal has high grades and low grades, okay, used for different things. All right, the fundamentals. These companies don't seem to have any debt. They seem to be relatively cheap. And they are politically hated. There is no politician alive that's going to hold up a thing that says coal and let's get this on the road. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to get elected or reelected because people just have this picture that it's just throwing all this pollution in the air. But we, even in the US, use a huge amount of our power grid comes from coal. So, this is to give you some stats I found. Okay, every man, woman, and child is consuming in the U.S. about 3,000 pounds of coal a year. I saw numbers even higher than that. That was one of the lowest ones I saw, so I figured I'd be conservative. Now think about that. You're doing 1.5 tons of coal per human here. And you're like, well, how am I doing that? I'm not putting coal in my car. No, but that power plant's running on coal, which is running your computer and charging your cell phone. Okay, and that averages out to that per person. In the US, the plants that are closing, they're not opening back up. There are a couple of coal mines that are coming online, but they're not really going to make a dent in the supply. They're too small. It's not renewable. 16% of the planet does not have access to electricity at all. So imagine 16 people in 100 people in a room and 16 of them raise their hand and they can't even plug in a refrigerator to preserve food, right? That's 16% of the population. About double that have access only to intermittent electricity, like where I just came from, Nicaragua, right? I think this is some really bullish case for coal. I think that huge portion of the population, is going to want, 40-45% is going to want regular electricity like the rest of us are enjoying, right? And the easiest and the cheapest way to do that is a coal power plant. All right. Okay, let's go to the charts. There is a deal right now on TradingView. Justin told me about this. I signed up for this software about a month or so ago because I couldn't wait, and he said if you can wait till Black Friday you get 70% off, and he's not kidding. It's $10 for the basic package per month. It is $16 for the middle package, which is what I got. And I paid $30. And then it's normally 60 for the premium package, and right now it's 16. So had I waited, I could have got the premium for the same price. But anyhow, I'm gonna extend mine a whole year and lock in the $16 price. And but everything you've seen so far here is the middle package, so it's probably more than enough. But anyhow, link is in the notes below. If you're going to get it anyways, support the show and use the link, and a little bit will get thank you back to the podcast. Okay, we're going to start out here with the S&P 500, and we can see that it has hit this level. Now, I know this isn't coal, but I want you to keep this in mind as we click through the coal charts, that I think generally speaking, the market is up and likely to come back down. We just have high levels right here on these indicators, and I think it's more likely to roll over, which will probably bring coal down cheaper, giving us an opportunity to buy some even cheaper coal a few weeks or maybe a month or so into the future. Could be wrong, but we'll see. Right now, the dollar has fallen and gotten beat up. And so that means since the dollar is weaker, it takes more of those dollars to buy the same thing, whether that's an ounce of gold or a ton of coal. All right, so these are the charts that we got from Matt, and he basically, he looks at these for the commodity itself. Now this is thermal coal, so I'm just gonna flip through these and you can see that they're all pretty similar, right? So here's the first one. This is Newcastle coal futures. Here's Rotterdam coal futures. And then here is Richards Bay coal futures. You can see they all kind of look the same, right? Like we could kind of click through each one and they're all the same. This is metallurgical coal or coking coal. Anyways, and yeah, so this one has a bigger dip right here, but you kind of get the idea. That's the overall commodity over the last 5-6 years. Okay, so as far as companies we can bet on, I like this one a lot. I've had it a while. BHP, these arrows are our entry points. And yeah, as far as the next entry point, I think right around this 200 moving average on the daily, like around 60. So like a few orders in there, 60. It looks like the 50 is going to go through the 200. That'd create a golden cross. But right now it's just in the clouds. See, RSI is way up here. MACD's way up there. We need to let this kind of correct back down a little bit, and then I think it'd be a nice entry point. Now, getting on to the real coal stocks, the beta play here, Glencore, we have 2 bets in. We actually sold a little bit of our uranium to place these limit order bets here on Glencore. So that's after 8 hours of study, that's what we did. We actually sold uranium to buy coal. Anyways, we got a limit order in here for $10.50, and we got another one in here for $9.50, and just expecting to kind of scale in. All right, now I know a favorite of Rick Rule is the Australian coal producer Yancoal, and only thing I see for an entry rate here is like 440, and then down here at like 370. There's some gap up right there. I kind of like that. See what it looks like when it gets there. But ideally, it'd hit this white line, bounce, and then go up. If I could control a stock and make it do that, then that's what I would make it do. All right, and Antonio wants to know, Whitehaven has been on my list. Okay, I think Rick likes this one as well, too. These are the 2 levels I put, basically 650 and then what did I put there? 434, something like that. I mean, I guess I'm kind of splitting hairs. Maybe I picked that exact point for a specific reason. I don't remember. Maybe a trend line. No, I think I'm just kind of seeing stuff. I guess if we go in on the short term, I could see anything along that trend line, although I like that horizontal support line a lot more, kind of anywhere around there, I think. One thing that is interesting, I will say about this one, is the 50 just moved above the 200, so that's a golden cross. RSI is middle of the road, but it's leaning up. MACD's leaning up. I could see this doing well. Like limit orders kind of down. Usually when you go to golden cross, that's like a 70%er, I think, is that, over the next few months. So anyhow, we'll see. All right, and Alpha Metallurgical Resources. met coal. This thing just went into the clouds. You know, I'm sure this company is killing it, but I would never be able to make a technical entry right here. It just looks, if anything, I'd want to short it. But we'll see. You know, it's tying its all-time high. Typically, when these do this, they take a few times to do it, but who knows? Maybe it'll keep going. RSI and MACD are super high. This one, what was this one? This was Ramaco Resources, North America and Europe. Okay, don't see any kind of technical entry here. Something happened with this, and it I'm not sure what fundamentally happened with the company here, but you know, what's the market cap of this? Was this the one that? No, it's almost $1 billion. Yeah, I don't know. Something must have happened with the company. Anyways, this channel right here I see is about all I see. Right in this channel right here somewhere. Arch Resources, met and thermal, low and high grade. So they kind of got all of them. Maybe a bull flag here. Kind of interesting. I mean, they, what's their market cap at here? This is 2.8 billion. That's a lot. Yeah, these technicals could mean quite a bit. I kind of like a limit order. Like if this, ideally, if this were to come down here and hit like the 200 moving average, like out here, and do it above this extended line, man, I like a bet like that. Yeah. But right now, RSI and everything is too high. Like there's nothing to bet. Okay, and Jason wants to know about Colonial Coal International Corporation. Something also happened with this. Maybe it's the same thing that happened with Arch, but yeah, it just shot up. There was some kind of lawsuit or something. Anyways, only if you look back over the life of this, the 200. Well, other than that recent run up, I'd basically say kind of anywhere around this 160, which would put you around the 200 moving average, and then down here by this one, 136, something like that. Next level down would be $1. So kind of limit orders going down like that. I think would be what I would do if I knew fundamentally about this company. Simon wants to know Peabody, BTU. What we see here, let me zoom in on the weekly so you can see the life of this. Kind of relatively high RSI, high MACD in the weekly. Then we'll go into the daily. Middle of the road on both of them. There is a lot of resistance built up. I'm sorry, yeah, a resistance support built up right about where it is now. And I think that we're going to have to break through that before we really get it. But notice also what we got here is we have a golden cross. So you can look at this white line as just like a big, you know, if they're normally dealing with soap bubbles, now you're dealing with like a balloon, right, to pierce through. And yeah, that's a tough one. But as long as it can keep settling above this 200-day moving average, and on top of that, we have a golden cross with the yellow, the 50-day moving average moving above. I kind of like this one. I mean, it's starting to slope up. Yeah, I could see a bet, you know, around like 22.50, and then another one around like 21.50, and then maybe a stink bid way down here. $19. Yeah, because when you get that, I mean, it could take quite a while to play out, but look, you get paid dividends and for waiting, and yeah. All right. He also wants to know about Console, which was another one of the ones that Matt mentioned, and immediately, kind of what I see is like a bear pennant. Maybe I'm just seeing things. I'm not sure, but it kind of looks to me like it's a bear pennant. You got support is way down here. You know, I'd like to see this kind of iron out a little bit more, get a little more history on it. Okay, and Learn wants to know about HCC, ticker Warrior Met Coal. All right, so Yeah, I don't really see any entries into this. Maybe around the 50, then the 200, then the 400 around there. There's not a pattern here that I really recognize. It's going to all-time highs. I don't know. I don't know. But I hope you guys got something out of that. If you're interested in trading view and joining us on doing these charts, would love to have you. I'd love to have a hive of just a bunch of guys that are all doing technical analytics. There's a link down in the show notes. 70% off. You can sign up for 2 weeks. Don't have to. If you don't like it after 2 weeks, you can get all your money back. So there's absolutely no risk to you. You have a great rest of your day. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and share this with anyone that you think needs to hear it. It's probably your buddy who can't stop talking about tech stocks.